Hey guys, good morning. You know who I am? So I am making this video just uh, to kind of touch on a few points that I've been talking with my friends about, like since last 6 months or so. I'm the more I talk about this, the more I realize that actually this, um, like I said, I don't have all the answers, but somehow these things, like they are from my perspective or from where I am right now, from my paradigm, they look so simple, but somehow a lot of people that I know don't get this. So I want to make my case, let's say, of what actually is. Um, yeah, I want to touch my uh, perspective on a few things here. First thing was like I was talking to a friend of mine about what should I do with my life, and this guy is actually living in India, and he is. I met him through meditation, and he is always wondering like, I and he's actually quite good. He's making a lot of money, but he's unhappy as hell, and obviously he has a lot of bad habits, and he's very addicted to many things, and he's married, and he has a lot of issues, and like time to time we get together, and then the things that we talk about is like so Venu, why do I not feel complete? Like, why do I not feel happy? So what I told him is what I will tell you guys here. But first of all, like I said, I'm not claiming that I have all the answers, but I'm actually I want to shine a light on few things that we normally don't think about so much. Okay, and there is another thing that we discussed with another friend of mine. Can I control my destiny? So these two things, right? They kind of go hand in hand. But let me actually also include another question in this, which I will connect all of this together at the end. So, and the second question is, what should I or what should I not give my children? And last question that I wrote for myself is like, why are so many people fucked up? These four questions actually seem so different, but they have almost the same answer. And so I don't blame parents. Before I start this, I have to say I don't have any kids. I'm not planning to have any in the near future. That's a little bit sad for my parents because they always want kids, but I am gonna have them when I want them. Not, I don't know, some biological BS dictate what I should do. So of course, a lot of people are gonna say. First of all, I'm gonna already answer a few comments that I'm gonna get when I post this video. First is, you don't have kids, shut the fuck up. Okay, I don't have kids, but I was a kid once. Okay, so I'm just saying everything from my perspective, what I shouldn't have known, or I wish what my parents would have done. Also, my parents, every parent does a great job of raising their kid within their ability, within their paradigm. Unfortunately, there are a lot of things that we borrow from our parents and they borrow from their parents. So when I'm talking about like their paradigm, basically where they are is uh, it completely is defined by what they got from their parents. And I really like one analogy that Sadhguru gives, like your nose is actually probably from your great 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 grandfather, and it's hitting on your nose right now. It's the same nose as your great 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 grandfather, because your DNA, it can remember much more than you. But also in the same sense, in the way how you are, like your personality is nothing but, let's say, 60-70% of your parents' personality, which is nothing but 30-40% of your grandparents' personality, which is nothing but, you can go on in this long link forever. Every generation that you had, like that is before you, has influence in some way the way you are. Okay, this is very important. This you have to remember. So this is where we are right now. Is it good? Is it bad? I don't agree that it's good or bad. What it is it is the present moment. Just accept it the way it is. Now, you have a kid. Okay? First of all, you know that it's not a cat or a dog, right? You don't own that person. It's a real person. So they don't owe you anything. You brought them into this world without asking them. Literally, you never asked for their permission, and you put them in a school without asking permission. Like most of the things you do it out of your own volition. You don't. Um, how do you say it? You don't own them. Yes, you gave part of your body to them, which they should be grateful for, but that's about it. And of course, the brain. But yeah, that's one thing. Like what I see is like, I have a dog, I have a cat, I have a fucking child. This is what I saw in some things. Like, yeah, he will do what I say. No, it's another life. Respect the life within every person. This is why they say children are like God in Indian culture, because it's like the potential in a child is unlimited. So let me take another simple analogy to explain this. Okay, so you have a seed of any plant. Can you tell me exactly how tall this plant is going to grow? How many fruits this plant is going to give? Can anybody in the whole world guess or predict what this seed is going to do? No, right? And if you can't do it about a seed that has no conscience, you're talking about a person who has conscience here. So, okay, I can go on this rant forever, but my basic point is they have a life of their own. Your job as a parent is, because you brought them into this world, is to give them unconditional love. What does it mean? It means, as the word says, unconditional. So please don't say, if you do this, then I love you. If you don't do this, then you're not a good boy. If you do, if, drop this if first. Give them love unconditionally. Oh, what if he becomes a bad boy? How can I love a bad kid? You know what? If you give them love unconditionally, he's not going to become a bad person, because he understands the value of love that he got. And he will try to do the same to the rest of the world. Everything that you do to them is what they do to the world. It's that fucking simple. Because that's what they understand. Monkey see, monkey do. This is like, if you want your child to read more books, don't tell them to read books. Read books yourself, and in front of them especially. Not to pretend in front of them, but actually read books if you want them to read books. Or if you don't want them to use touch screens, mobile phones, stop using them in front of them. Anything that you want, if you want your kid to start running, if you want your kid to become more athletic, become athletic yourself. If you want your kid to learn piano and play some beautiful tunes and show them that, look at the joy that I am having by playing this piano. What do you think he will think? Of course he's going to learn piano, because he will see the amount of joy. He sees that as a fun thing. If you don't do it, you ask your child do it, aren't you a hypocrite? I'm not accusing you of this. Think about it for a second. Second one, the same seed analogy I'm talking about, right? You can't predict how big a tree is going to grow based on just by looking at a seed. The same way, a child can be next Jesus Christ, or next Krishna, or next Buddha, next Albert Einstein, next Nikola Tesla, next any or all of them together, next Leonardo da Vinci. A child is infinite potential. What you're doing is you're planting the seed, and then you are already building a room around this seed, predicting how much this tree is going to grow. What do you think will happen when you are already limiting this child full of beliefs? The tree is going to grow until the roof of the room that you built, and then it's going to go all haywire. It may break the wall that you have built, or it may just die because there is no sunlight anymore, there is no water. Oh, but I love this tree, I want to protect this tree. The nature of the tree, or the nature of any love, is giving. The moment you ask for something, it is not love anymore. Just remember this one important difference. The nature of love is always giving. If you ask for something in return, that is not love anymore. Okay. Now that's really sticking. Okay. The next point is, whatever, like the education that you have, whatever the beliefs, the religion that you have, all the beliefs that you have, again, are a product of your parents, their parents, their parents, plus the society that you live in. So I would like to name 5 P's that actually give you everything. Parents, priest, police, press, peers. So your parents, your teachers, your religious or school teachers, your priests. Sorry, I already said the priests. Police, like the society, all the laws and the rules, and then the press, like the media, what should be, what you should look like, what you shouldn't look like, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, how you should treat these people, how you shouldn't treat those people, who are your enemies, why are they your enemies. Everything that you think you are is actually product of these 5 P's. If you don't believe me, next time you have a belief about someone, something, write it down and try to sit like an hour, just meditate and observe. Where did this come from? I guarantee you have learned it somewhere. It's not your original. You basically have almost 0.000000001% or less of your own individuality within you. You have a persona, you have a personality, which is a mask that you wear when you walk around the streets, but that's not real you. So, yeah. When you have a child, teach them how to survive. Obviously, that's very important. Meaning, don't do this, you will die. Like, don't touch the fire, you will die. All these survival things, yes, is very important. And then teach them education, which is also important, I guess. Mathematics, science, and as much as they need to learn, as much as they want to learn. If they want to do PhD, pay for their until PhD. But don't give them, don't save 500 crores and give them. What do you think will happen if you save so much or any money? Yeah, that's another point that I will go to in a minute. But just my point is, all the beliefs that you have, right? Okay, let me take one example. And this is, I know this will touch a lot of, this will touch a lot of nerves, a lot of people, but I would like, this is my best example. Have you seen God? No. Do you know where He lives? No. Have you ever heard from Him? No. What do you know about God? You read it somewhere, you heard it from somebody that He's in the sky, or He's you know something about God from other people. You have never actually met Him. You have never actually even experienced Him. You have never went even on a search to find Him. Meaning, you have never went on your own journey to find Him. Why do you think you actually never went to a journey to find Him? Why? The answer is, before even you had this question you had, the answer was supplied to you by your parents or by somebody that killed the chance for the question even to arise within you. So now comes the question, right? What should I give? What should I not give my children? Of course, this is my opinion. Take it or leave it. I don't care. But accept unconditional love. Don't give them anything. What do I mean by unconditional love? If they need resources to study, to learn, to self-improve, help them. If they don't understand something that you do understand, meaning science, things that are tangible, help them understand them, or guide them to books, guide them to Google, guide them to whatever. But don't give them beliefs. Oh, I am a Christian. He is born in a Christian family. He should become a Christian too. Or a Hindu, a Brahmin. Look, God is a search that your child has to go on his own. Don't give him answers before even he gets the question. He's like 5 years old. Why? What business does a kid less than 4 years old in a temple? He doesn't understand anything. Why is he running around churches, or you are giving him answers before even the question arises in his head? There should be something in the world. There should be some higher power. And that should lead him to his own path of discovery of what God is, what love is, what the existence is. He should go on his own path. But if you, the moment before he even gets the question, you take him to the church and you tell him there is a God up in the sky, he's watching you, don't do anything, you are fear-mongering. This is not how you should raise a kid. At least I wish this is how I wasn't raised. But again, I'm not attacking anybody. I'm so glad to my parents for doing the job that they did. I'm glad they have given me everything that they have. They did their best. Thank you. But this is the few things. So, first thing is, most of the beliefs that you borrow from other people, which you haven't witnessed yourself or which you haven't felt on your own, they are nothing but garbage that you're collecting. And the worst part is, because we tend to follow other people, monkey see, monkey do, and we haven't seen God, but we still feel the guilt when we do something wrong because we are afraid that God is watching because someone else told us so. But on the contrary, do I mean don't tell them there is no God, there is no accountability? No. Teach them the way of love. Meaning, you have a life, treat another life the way you want to be treated. Or don't lie because God is watching. No. Don't lie because you need to tell what you want, what happened. You need to be authentic. This is why you shouldn't lie, not because somebody is writing down creepy notes on the sky. That's not a way to like, don't put people in a fear paradigm or guilt or shame. Anything that they should experience on their own in their own life, don't supply them with artificial answers. So this is where the step one, like this is where I call the humanity has went wrong. And a child is a helpless thing. Obviously, they're going to follow whatever you say because they're deep down, they're afraid of their own survival. So if you tell them to worship, they will worship. If you tell them anything, they will just copy you without even thinking. But do you want to raise a child who is brainless? He has infinite potential for an amazing brain, and you are killing it. You are killing it by stopping all the potential from growing. And this leads me to point number 2. Can I control my destiny? Or what should I do with my life? It's actually a very similar question. So, why, first of all, just like a tree grows up, like a seed grows up to become a tree, of course, there are 2 parts of destiny, right? One is you being ready for it, and 2, it coming to you or dawning on to you, or it telling you what it it. So there are 2 parts. One is you becoming ready for it, right? So imagine you are a dancer. So first you need to be able to be fit, you need to be able to blah blah blah, right? And the second part is when you are dancing, you disappear and the dancer only remains. It's like, in a way, you don't see where the dance ends and the dancer begins. There is no difference. So, unfortunately, all the dancers are now scientists, all the scientists are mathematicians, all the mathematicians are flipping burgers, all the people who want to flip burgers, or I don't know, driving cars. Why? Because yeah, their parents kind of said, oh no, don't do that, do this, and you at least have some money to survive. You will fail, you will fail, you will fail if you go anywhere else except a place where I have succeeded in my life, because that's the only place where I can help. That's the only place where I can show you how, or where I can dominate you and still keep my higher level of authority. This is not what parents really say, but I have a funny feeling that this is actually maybe what they're unconsciously thinking. So again, no offense, parents. But here is the thing, right? A kid, again, like I said, he has infinite potential. So, yeah, I want to take an example of Rabindranath Tagore. So for those who don't know him, he won Nobel Prize for Literature from India. He is one of those people that can write most beautiful poems out of the simplest words ever. And I read him in English, and it was translated. And from what I heard, it was poorly translated, and even that touched my heart. So now imagine Bengali. If I read it in the original Bengali, yeah, and he was not attending any school. He basically went he was skipping school almost every second, third day. He was going and watching the river. How beautiful the flow of the river is. How beautiful it is that one day there is, how beautiful that the nightingale can sing. How beautiful is not only the moon, but every reflection of the moon, even in the dirtiest of the waters in the night. It's like 1,000 moons. Every dirty, like even a small pothole in the street in the night can reflect the moon just as beautifully as the sky. He saw the beauty in everything. I have a feeling, again, this is my feeling, that most likely that India will never be able to win another Nobel Prize in literature ever again, as long as we keep doing this shit to our kids. Don't study poetry, don't study arts, don't draw. Drawing is bad for you. Don't play music. Music is bad. Anything that I know that this is the paradigm where you are at. But the only thing that you can give your kids is unconditional love, and stop there, and then that's it. You shouldn't give them your money. I advocate people not to give a single penny to their kids, but spend as much money on their education. Buy them books. Any book they want to read, not the books that you want them to read. Again, here is like the trick. Oh, I will buy them all the religious books. Well, here is another condition that I would like to put on the world, if I can. If you want your child to become religious, at least buy him all the books of all the religions in the world and give it to him. Let him choose. Let's see if he actually chooses the exact religion you are in after reading all the religions, without you swaying him to one side. Okay, I'm going on a rant. So, accept love. Teach, which you cannot teach again. Like, oh, love your neighbor. This has been in the Bible since 5,000 years. Has anybody been loving their neighbor? No. India, Pakistan, in the Middle East, every other country, in Israel and Palestine, US, Mexico. I don't even have the time to name all the countries that are hating their neighbors right now. But my point is, you can't teach by only speaking. You have to do it by yourself. and monkey see, monkey do. They will follow you. Okay, so the destiny part, right? So if the reason why I said this entire story about Rabindranath Tagore is because when you leave the kid and stop influencing him in every little thing and micromanage him, then he will find his own destiny. Meaning, when I feel this tingling sensation in my heart when I read poetry, maybe I can be a poet. Or maybe the mathematics is so beautiful, these geometries are so connected, yet they look so random, and they have like this pi 3.1414. This number is what connects a dot to a circle. It's unbelievable. Once you stop tunneling his vision into one particular thing, he will see beauty in many things. And out of this beauty of abundance, he will pick one or two things that he like. When he comes to you with, dad or mom, I like this, or uncle, I like this and I don't like this, what should I do next? Again, remember, you have to respect his life. What does it mean? His life want to express itself through his body to become a dancer, or to become, I don't know whatever he wants to become, right? If you let him become that and don't put, additional baggage on him, he will become next Rabindranath Tagore of poetry, or he will become next Leonardo da Vinci. The only thing that is stopping him from claiming his destiny is your supplied artificial answers. Or, here comes the tricky part, right? The second part of this is also comparison paradigm. What's a comparison paradigm? So every time your kid is not doing well in school, let's say, you always compare him to somebody else. You always say like, look at that kid, he's doing better than you. What is wrong with you? You basically are not telling him to be better, to compare himself to himself from yesterday and get better that way. You're always telling him to compare himself to someone else. How can you compare a seed of banana or a seed of pear to a mango? We are all unique. We are 6 billion species, not 6 billion human beings. We are 6 billion species, meaning we all are extremely different, unique. We have the same life within us. That's all. That's where the beginning and end is. There is nothing. Let me say it's simple. Nobody, no two people have the same. No, not even same. Like not even two trees have the same leaves. How? Just think. Like we are so different. Okay, we have intellect which can bring us to one plane to meet, but that's all. We basically are unique beings, and when you start comparing to other people, something in them dies. The uniqueness slowly dies, because what you're creating is another robot. Because be more like him, be more like him, be more like him. No! Stop and think for a second. If Sachin Tendulkar or I don't know, Lionel Messi or Ronaldo, he had a brother who is a lawyer, and during their childhood, if their parents said, look at your brother, he's so good at law, go study law, the world would lose. The whole point of uniqueness is it is a potential that needs a chance to express itself. And like Osho says, this is so beautiful. When God sent you to become a dancer, He is waiting for you at the ballet hall. If you are a lawyer working in an office, you will never meet God, meaning you will never meet the excellence of the existence, because if you were destined to be this, the existence is waiting for you in the dance hall, because you are supposed to become a dancer and it's supposed to embody you, embody through you and express and manifest itself through you to the world. But you never made it to the dance class because your parents or whoever this is have always said, no, 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 don't become a dancer, go become a fucking lawyer. And you have become now a great lawyer, or mediocre actually lawyer, because your heart is never there, and you have so much guilt because you have never become a doctor or whatever you wanted to be, that dancer. So you go drink, you do drugs, you do everything that your body is against, because, well, what's the point? Like, I have no other, like, meh. And finally, why are so many people fucked up? This was, like, I wanted to conclude with this. So, why do you think so many people are fucked up? I think it's because of the trauma. It's because their life wasn't respected. The life within them, again, I repeat this life within you so many times because I think that's the only thing that is equal between us. That you are alive, I'm alive. Except this, we're all different. But when I say you're alive, I really mean every fiber, every nerve, every blood cell, every bone marrow is alive, is vibrating, is pulsating, is regenerating itself, is dying, is being born. That's the value of life. That is the magic of life within you. And what you're doing with it is your chance. And why are so many people traumatized, or why are so many people fucked up? Like, because they weren't, like, life should be given the freedom for it to express itself through the body, right? What do I mean? I mean, I used to draw Mickey Mouses when I was a kid. I used to be a good at drawing. But I stopped it because, of course, came the 10th class, or like the SSC board exams. And I had to, like, prepare myself for the exam. So stop drawing, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And I see that they have a good intention behind it, my parents. But maybe, I don't know, maybe I could have been a better painter than an engineer. Of course, I'm also, like, painting right now in, like, electronic circuits and stuff. But my point is, life was not treated fairly. This is what I think is a trauma is. If one life is overpowered by another life form, for example, also rape is the biggest trauma, is because one life thinks, or a dick or an asshole of one person thinks that he has more power than the victim, and he tries to prove that power, and that's traumatizing for the victim, obviously, for the rest of his life. Everywhere where the life is not treated fairly, meaning every life should be treated with the utmost respect. Utmost. This is where I also would like to become vegan one day, and probably or like also just eat only vegetables and fruit and so on, but that's a different story altogether. In general, every life is traumatized, or most of the people that are walking around, the eyes are open but nobody is there within the eyes. Like, everyone, like, is sucked in their own mind. Everybody is only living in their heads, and this is why so much anxiety just to interface with another life, because they don't know how. Because life is afraid to come out of its shell because it has been traumatized before. The last time it came out so innocently was during the childhood, and it has been traumatized. So why should it come out now after the shell? The shell is so warm, so comfy. At least here nobody can come in and hurt me. So yeah, meditate and slowly you will start to see that you are stuck in these loops, many psychological loops, many psychological traumas which have so much charge over you that you basically you are not living spontaneously. You are never living spontaneously. You are basically always reacting. You are never responding to things spontaneously, and as long as you are not aware of this, I think you have congratulations, you just lost 40 minutes or 35 minutes of your life, because most of what I said to you before probably you never understood in the first place anyway. But still, thank you for watching. So if you are an adult and if you want to, or if you are wondering what should I do with your life, first thing, meditate. Last thing, also meditate. That's it. You simply have to start meditating. What does it mean? Sit down, start breathing, observe your breath, or find some way to live in your body. Meaning, like, okay, how does my head feel? How does my hair feel? Like, do I feel warm, cold? Try to find your body. Try to observe your body. Like, try to connect to your body. How does my belly feel? How does my hands feel? How are my shoulders? Are they tight? Are they loose? Why are they tight? Stop analyzing them, but see that they are tight, right? So slowly put them down or loose them a little bit. Why is my tongue touching my roof of my mouth all the time? That's not good either. It's a symptom of stress. Or your body is actually trying to talk to you. It's trying to tell you like, oh, you're stressed. Watch out, watch out, watch out. Oops, overload. And you get ill, or you break down, or you have stress-induced whatever, psychosis, neurosis. They are like, DSM-5 is full of all the diagnostic symptoms of every disease that you can get, but all of them are psychological. They're basically brain-induced. So meditate, and once you start meditating, you will start to find out like, oh, actually there is joy in showering, there is joy in cooking, there is joy in eating, there is joy in walking, there is joy in sitting on the grass, not plucking the grass but just touching the grass. People are so violent, they pluck the grass all the time when they are sitting down, but they do it unconsciously because they are so unconscious. They are never actually at the moment where they are, and when they are unconscious, they are violent. You don't believe me? Go sit in the grass and look at the people who are sitting in the grass. They cannot leave their hands calm. Why is the world so violent? That's the answer. People are unconscious. When they're unconscious, something else is running them, which is their unconscious. Their subconscious has like this loops which are so powerful, so charged, because they never get to discharge them, and that's what's running them. So can I control my destiny? Or like, yeah, all these 4 questions, man. It's very simple, right? Actually bring awareness to your life, understand where you are, understand what is actually running you. Meditate, sit in silence, live in every moment. Try to bring consciousness to every moment. When you eat, just eat. When you are talking, just talk to the other person. Don't put the phone away. See what you are saying. Like, everything that you are doing, bring some consciousness, bring some attention to it, and try to stay as long as you can. I guarantee you can't stay so long. You always want a distraction so quickly because you can't be with yourself, because yourself and you are not on good terms. How to bring them together on a table? Meditation. With that, I would like to thank everybody who watched this long video, and thank you guys, and have an amazing day, have an amazing week, have an amazing year, have an amazing rest of your life. Bye.